Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host in person, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning. I'm good. Beautiful weather today. It was a really good weekend. A lot of barbecues. Those of you that follow me on Instagram or Telegram would have seen all the grilling I did. And now back to, work. And uh, you and I are both on a health streak for working out. So I'm doing that this week. Back's feeling good.
Mate, today at the gym for the first time ever, I punched out 3 sets, 5 reps of 50 kilos each side on the dumbbell bench press. What's that in
Damn.
pounds? 50 kilos. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but like in my gym, that's the maximum bar. That's the
Yeah.
maximum dumbbell they have. That doesn't even go any higher. And I just did it for a goof. And I didn't know it was that impressive. But I had like 5 people standing around going, holy shit, we've never seen anybody use that end before. So it must have been pretty good. But I felt fine. So come up. You have to match me at 50 kilos either side. Dumbbell press. You reckon you can do it?
No, I won't even come close. I'll be happy if I do a 25 kg in one arm.
I can do that with my penis. All right, so let's get into the charts. It's been a long time. I was in Malaysia for a week in Bali. Just getting back now. I'm sorry in my absence. Thank you, Tone, for holding down the ship while I was gone. Plenty to talk about today. Let me see. I'll start off as I'm wont to do. All right, weekly time frame. This scares me. I did a show earlier today on my channel. Man, let me load the MRI. Here we go. This is a green 2, potentially red star, star. There it is, red star on the weekly time frame. Fantastic MRI top here in hindsight, but this is like near top, a warning anyway. Look, this is, I don't know if you can see it here. I'll try and make it bigger. This is the thing that scares me the most. But I mean, I'll go through like what scares me in the short term and then like the silver lining as I always do, right? So let me just bring this up a little bigger. You can see these stars right here, these little red stars. That's the lucid star, the modified lucid star, which dictates the color of the wave, right? When the wave is green, we're bullish. We've got a bullish mindset. We're looking for long trades, the drill, right? And it turned green back at 96,000. And I've got a bot over on Black Box, which is just a spot bot, which will just buy and sell just the green wave. I think it's the best investment bot out there. There's no leverage at all. Just a perfect. If you're just going to hodl Bitcoin, you might as well hodl Bitcoin using Black Box and just using this service because it's just terrific. It'll just be long exposure to cash, long exposure to USDT, long exposure to USDT, long exposure to USDT, and we're knocking on the door of flipping this candle red. Now that gives you a couple of options when this thing turns red. You can just go fishing, relax, just be out of the market for as long as it takes. It could be a few weeks where it comes out red and then you get back in at basically the same price you got out of, or it can be something horrific where it turns red and you can just avoid months and months and months of disaster and then just get back in when the wave turns green and ride it back up. That's a really good suggestion to raise cash, as the late great Tyler Jenks would say, raise cash and just get out of the market. That's fine. But the other thing I would recommend is go to work. When this thing turns red, that doesn't mean you stop working. That means you start looking for generational buys. And the first thing you look for is obviously a green diamond on the weekly time frame. But then if you're using like a DCA strategy or something, I highly recommend dropping down to like the 3-day time frame and looking to pick up some DCAing. Instead of DCAing like a dollar cost average week by week, take the opportunity to just buy bang, 3-day green candles, bang, green diamonds, bang. That's the bottom of the bang of the crash that we had. Bang, another one. Just DCAing off the 3-day is it's as good as a weekly, except they happen more often and they don't have to be the exact bottom. You might get a bit more further downside, but it's in terms of like loading back up That's what I'd be looking to do when the wave turns red. Two options. I'll just reiterate. Go fishing, go enjoy your life. The wave's red, forget about it, come back in when it's interesting and the wave's green again. Or load up when we get a really good buy opportunity at whatever price that may come in on the 3-day, the daily, or the weekly. Going back to the weekly now, that's my overview of what I would recommend. The point is, the wave's not red yet. So going by the alphanumeric system, we're not bearish yet. But as Bob Dylan once said, it's not dark yet, but it's getting there. All right. This thing turns red, comes down and hits 109,300. And I'm seriously looking for that 101 to come in at the 30 simple moving average, if not lower. Who knows at that point? That's when we start looking for diamonds. All right. Let's go into a few of these oscillators because it's really valid. The Copic curve has rounded down, but it hasn't crossed the zero line yet. This for us on the weekly, we want to buy when that thing crosses above the zero line. We don't like it's going down, but it doesn't matter yet. But if this thing goes below the zero line, it's a great opportunity down the line to get a buy into strength, which it's not the buy right now, according to the Copic curve. The RSI, which I think I was spot on with pointing this out. Maybe it's obvious. I don't know. I don't watch other people. But this even came up and touched on that line that I drew. To the dollar, it came on that line before it got rejected. Even we put in a higher high here recently, and it wasn't even able to break off. This divergence on the RSI, which how long have I been talking about this, Tone? The divergence on the RSI? Like 3 months? Like 2 months? A long time.
I've been about it for a while. Yeah, it's good. It's been right.
I've been mentioning it in every fucking show I've done for the last 2 months, and it's valid. We'll look back on this. If this goes into a bear market from here, we'll look back on this as the most obvious divergence we've ever seen. They'll write textbooks after that divergence. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. The MACD, red, cross, bad. It's bad across the board on the daily time frame. The saving grace for me is that we're still kind of in a range. Do you know what I mean? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We're still at 112. Pinch yourself and say we're still at a 112 and think back to the last 4 or 5 years, 3 years, how long have you been into the game. 112 is feels pretty good. All right. It still feels pretty good. But we're talking about this as traders, right? If you're just a long-term hodler, if your house is in order, 112 shouldn't scare you that much. All right. It doesn't scare me that much, right? The daily is not very exciting, right? We had that boost up 4 days ago, and I saw on Twitter a lot of people were very excited about that, bouncing off the MRI support and resistance. I didn't catch your show, man. I was a bit busy traveling back, but I thought nothing of this, even though it came off an incredible MRI buy on the daily. The fact that we just came back to the 30 simple moving average and got rejected hard back down to lower even as we speak right now than when that kickoff happened. That is just a textbook buy and then sell. A lot of liquidity left the market at that time. Bad, right? This is the modified Lucid Star. It's jumped up in the day from yesterday. Bad, right? This is just screaming, come back inside the wave, give us a green diamond back inside the wave. It's just screaming it. I don't have any good news here, guys. 4 hour, right? This is what I said on my show earlier today. Now, I'm going to turn the MRI off for a second. What alphanumerics always preaches, will always preach, buy green diamonds inside the green wave. But here's the kicker, guys, and I went through this on the show earlier today. When the wave initially goes from red, we ignore these. These are green diamonds inside a red wave. Red wave is bearish biased. When the wave turns green, where all systems go here, the throwback inside the green wave is brilliant. Buy. The next throwback, buy. And I'll show you why, because the wave had recently turn green, and the gap between where our bias is going to change. At that point, when this came back in at 100,000, our bias change is at an 80. So we're still really confident about this throwback inside the wave, which just happens all the time, right? Same deal. All right, it's risen a little bit now, but we're still sitting at 84. This is the issue. This, okay, another great buy, another fantastic result, right? But now you can see that this is like exhausted now. These green diamonds of the green wave are fantastic buys until the last one. The last one won't work because that's when the bias is flipping and the bottom's about to fall out. These two, kind of worked for a second, came back to break even, and now the bias flip is so close. So it's kind of still a good buy because you can set your stop loss at 109, but the bias is going to flip soon. So like the last one in the run doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't know that at the time. You don't know if this one is going to be the one that fails and it comes all the way down. But you take the punts on them, especially when it's a recent green wave flip. But, like a wave coming in and out, the bias changes and flips. As we're pumping right now, look, we're pumping. Maybe that's a great buy because you set your stop loss at 109, maybe. But we've got so much work to do, guys. We're on the wrong side of all the moving averages, right? The pump up, it's just like on the daily, hitting the 30 simple moving average. The pump that we had came and stalled out on the 200 simple moving average. I'm not interested in Bitcoin in today until we get above 116. And that's a long way to go. I think there's no buy on Bitcoin for another 4%, $5,000. Until then, I'm not into Bitcoin right now in any long-term buys. I'm just not seeing it. Tone, I'm coming back to you in 3, 4, 2, 1. Mate, before I throw it back to you, guys, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Join the Discord group. I talk about all this, and my team talks about these setups, what we're thinking about the market. It's all free. It's all there for you. Free access to bots. All of it is there. It's a great community. Links in the description below. Tone, am I way off base here, mate? Have we still got a chance to rally here?
No. No. It's a very simple answer. Look, I exited all my bullish positions before the big run up on Friday. I did a show before the big run up on Friday. I then did a show on Saturday talking about the big run up, and that big run up. It was a great MRI buy. It led to a 1 to 4 candle correction, and it was literally a 1 candle correction to the upside. It hit resistance, and now we're making new lows. And the question we got to ask is, have we been wrong and the top is in for the whole cycle? That's literally the only question left is the actual top in? I don't think the actual top is in. I still think we're going to go into the 140s, but I can't rule out the possibility that the actual top is now in, just based on what's happening this morning. It's
let us know in the comments what you think, and if Tone and I are starting to glitch out really bad. I'm starting to see him glitch out really bad right now. But look, the RSI is screaming the top 10.
Yeah.
That's
we can still make an argument. We can still make an argument either way.
Well, let's do that.
Look, the monthly MRI is still bullish. Now, the last time the MRI had a decent call for a short-term top that lasted several months. The price pulled back about 30-40% and then started a new cycle. I still like the monthly MRI top. The monthly MRI top did not do a great job calling the top in 2021. But that's also because this month right here in May, this was the Chinese mining ban. And that caused massive panic in the Bitcoin market, and it kind of screwed up the MRI count. Someone is commenting, top is definitely not in. I don't know how you know that unless you have a time machine. We don't know that, right? It's very possible that the top is in, because, and the reason I say that is that we are on a verge of turning everything bearish, and if everything turns bearish, we are looking. I mean, we'll be lucky if we can avoid the April 2025 lows. If we can avoid going as low as 75, I think we're not going to go lower than 95. That's just my opinion. But if we go lower than 95, there's literally nothing stopping Bitcoin from entering a full-blown bear market. So there is definitely some concerns, which is why right now I don't have any long positions in Bitcoin. And I'm going to wait for what you actually said, Matt. I need us to get over all of these moving averages. And these moving averages are sitting at 115, 116 area. Like, we needed a full candle, like this candle that we had on Saturday. This candle needed to be on the other side of this blue line. And then I would be bullish going 100% long today. On the flip side, I have zero interest in going long at all at the moment, because what it looks like is we hit a daily MRI top, we rallied into resistance, we got rejected at resistance, and we're now making new lows. We're on the verge of a new daily low close, which would be a 2-month daily low close. We just made a brand new daily swing low this morning versus the weekend, which was a new swing low, and that is a new swing low versus July 9th or so. And we are dangerously close to the 128-day moving average. Now, I would love to see another MRI buy situation come in at the 128-day moving average. But now, not only are we gonna have moving average resistance to deal with, we're gonna have the 112 horizontal resistance to deal with. So resistance is starting to pile on, looking at the daily chart, and that's a big problem. On a weekly chart, we do have a red star candle. It's not a red star candle that scares me yet, but if we start to close this week lower than last week's low, if we close this week below 110, I just don't see how 90s are going to be avoided. I just don't see it. So I think right now it's safer to be completely out of the market.
Read this question. Read this question on the charts right now.
What if the Bitcoin chart is very bearish, but the S&P market makes new all-time high? Well, it makes me more optimistic that Bitcoin can turn it around, but I'm still concerned that Bitcoin is actually predicting what the S&P could potentially do in the near future, and people are, getting out of risky assets, and Bitcoin is just easier to get out of than the S&P. From a liquidity standpoint, you can just hit the sell button and it sells, right? We can come up with all kinds of conspiracy theories that it's BlackRock is dumping Bitcoin so that they can buy it cheaper. I'm sure we can say that, but to me, the TA right now looks very, very bearish. I got very optimistic off of this one candle, but as I said on a Saturday stream, we need follow through, which we never got.
Question for you, my friend, and you almost said it before. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
All right. In my analysis earlier in this show, I said that when the wave turns red for me, I'm always presented with two options. Do I just go fishing, go play golf, go raise the children, just stay out of the market, and look to re-enter back into strength when the wave turns green again? And from where we are right now, for the wave to turn full-blown green, if it goes red today, it'll be green again by like 124. The gap's not huge. Every single week, that'll get lower and lower and lower. it's a really smart move to do that for your own mental health and everything like that. So that's one side. The other side is you start really going to work and look for a fantastic low buy, which is like a falling knife kind of buy. Which camp are you in, Tone, out of those two? Or do you have a third camp that I don't know about?
No, I would only buy a falling knife with an MRI, right? With like a weekly MRI, maybe a daily. So I would like to avoid a your wave going red, and it's possible we can still avoid it, but I would need to buy on. I need a full candle above the moving averages. That's my buy level, or I'm gonna try to catch the falling knife, and I have one falling knife coming up right at the 128 day moving average. The problem is if we get there, the wave turns red, but you and I have slightly different strategies, right? Like I would try to catch the falling knife at the 128. My last chance to catch a falling knife, like right now, would be a 128. Now, we can get there very quickly, like tomorrow. I would rather get there on a slow bleed. I would rather get to 128 slowly so that it times with the MRI, and maybe we get a miracle and avoid your red wave. But I don't know. I'm not very optimistic that the wave's going to stay green. I think the wave is going to go red, but I still think we can bounce off of that 107, 108 area. Uh, as long as we, keep our candles above the 128-day moving average. My bigger concern is this gap that is growing very quickly between the 128 and the 200-day. That's an $8,000 gap. I cannot envision myself trying to catch a falling knife in this zone, right? Either I'm going to try to catch a falling knife, within the next 10 days, with a daily MRI buy off the 128, or I wait a long time to catch a falling knife in the 90s with a weekly MRI buy, maybe a daily as well, somewhere in the 200 day moving average area, or this might be a 200 week moving average as well. They seem to be in a similar area. Though maybe that's not a 200. Like I'm not sure what that is, but I got to double check. Weekly, short term, long term, weekly. Yeah, that is unless it's down there. So no, sorry, that's the 200. That's the 200. So that's the 50. So the 50 week moving average and the daily 200. I mean, that's my second falling knife, but I also needed ideally near an MRI buy opportunity, weekly, daily, whatever. So there's still a chance, but I'm not very optimistic here. At this point, Bitcoin has to prove to me that it's ready for strength. Now, the S&P being bullish helps, but not enough. It's not enough. It's especially since the S&P has been at its all-time high and Bitcoin's been kind of going down. So it's I don't know how long that'll last. I think that the shit coins have the altcoin season's over, and I think Bitcoin will outperform shit coins, even if they both crash, right? So if Bitcoin goes down, let's say 30%, shit coins will probably fall about 50. So I think that
can you hear me, mate? I'm currently doing a show on my channel where we rotated into altcoins, and we did a challenge between Baloo and I. We chose 5 altcoins each and put $1,000 in each of them from Bitcoin as a Bitcoin trade, like an arbitrage trade where we're trying to accumulate more Bitcoin after a 3-month period and then rotate back. And Bitcoin's down since we started the show 5%, and my portfolio's up 18% in that period from that rotation. So it hasn't happened yet, but I think that if Bitcoin continues to crash, altcoins will too, but it hasn't happened yet. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it is it's interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, this was Bitcoin dominance. I mean, I can put I can do it in candles. Not these candles.
Yeah.
Hold on. MRI buy is coming up on the weekly for Bitcoin dominance. Here's the daily. And yeah, I think this is it. I think Bitcoin dominance is about to start going up again. I mean, I think we're hitting a serious support level.
I just want to comment here. I'm going to put on screen. This is unrelated, but I like, dude, I lift on a regular basis. I can almost certainly say you did not lift 50-kilo dumbbells. It was 50 pounds. Follow me on Instagram. It's alpha.blackbox. Alpha.BLKBöX. Proof's in the pudding.
I can do like 15 reps with 50-pound dumbbells. So it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe it was 50 kilo.
Sure was.
So, yeah, I don't have much else to say here.
S&P 500?
It's near new highs, so it's promising,
Yeah.
but Bitcoin is not following through at all. So what does that mean? I don't know. I hope it means that Bitcoin can reverse and follow the S&P. But it could also mean that Bitcoin is just showing early signs that the risk markets are topping out.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's not dark yet, but it's getting there. So, and back to the thing I said before at the start of the show. This is a big thing for me. I think if the wave goes red, I've been in the market for so long now that I don't see that as a negative, really. Like it's okay. It hurts our immediate dreams, perhaps, but like it's a great opportunity to either just relax or to look for some fantastic lower buys of some green diamonds or MRI buys. It's just the time to go to work. It's sometimes the wave is in your favor and you can just ride it, and sometimes you got to go back to work. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I don't think we're done for the year.
I can glance at MicroStrategy, but hey, guys, if Bitcoin is going down, MicroStrategy is going to go down more because it's a leveraged play on Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy, yeah, again, it's about to go under all of its moving averages. So the wave already turned red on MicroStrategy. So there you go. That's a little preview of what's to come on Bitcoin. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I think Ethereum stopping. There's your MRI warning candle that the Ethereum's at the top. And, a good play could be to short Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Since you can't go long Bitcoin, maybe you can short Ethereum versus Bitcoin. That, to me, seems like a logical potential trade.
Sure does. Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, as you alluded to, like the fact that that portfolio that I put together is like 13, 15% up or whatever, if Bitcoin loses the wave and crashes, I think there's shorts across the board on altcoins. And it's something to be very, very careful of, especially ones that have gone up stupidly. There's shorts across the board to be made. And just as you pointed out here on Ethereum.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to come off screen share here. And close this out.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining once again. I think there's some confusion in the group what 50 kilos is in pounds. But other than that, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you back. And we'll try to bring you shows a lot more this week. I think we're okay. We're okay. And if we're not, we'll be here with you to talk you through when's a great time to get back in. Have a great night, guys, or day.
All right. Bye, guys.